Bhadiya Movie Review. Varun Dhawan and Kriti Sunon's Bhadiya brings to mainstream Indian cinema a concept which has largely been regaled to small-budget ventures or oblique representations. The film carves a path in lichen werewolf lore in India and also effectively incorporates the lens through which the rest of the country is looking at Northeast. At the very onset, dear reader, I must confess, critiquing Varun Dhawan and Kriti Sunon star Bhadiya was not easy. At one hand, I wanted to completely crush this Amar Kaushik horror comedy for its obvious use of tropes and disparities, while at the other hand, I could not help but marvel and champion the film's soul, addressal of issues, and mostly, bringing to mainstream Indian cinema a concept which has largely been regaled to small-budget ventures or oblique representations. Bhadiya Pilot. Varun Dhawan's Bhadiya takes the audience to the forests of Arunachal Pradesh, where Bhaskar Sharma, Varun, a budding contractor, has been tasked with carving a highway right through the middle of the forest, which incidentally has social, religious, and cultural significance for the locals. Despite warnings from the residents, Bhaskar, who has in tow with him his cousin Gadu, Abhishek Banerjee, and friend Khalid Kabak, carries on with his plans, only to be bitten by a wolf on a full moon night. The bite gives him the abilities of a lichen, and soon enough, the Delhi lad develops an acute sense of smell, hearing, some rock-solid abs, and the ability to turn into a werewolf. But underneath all the delights of horror comedy, the director addresses issues that have larger implications. Bhadiya Bhadiya is an unusual film in a lot of ways. The film, while carving the path in lichen lore in India through the adventures and misadventures of Varun Dhawan's Bhaskar Sharma, also effectively and evocatively incorporate the culture and the lens through which the rest of the country is looking at Northeast, along with the prejudices, alienation, casual discrimination, and the trials and tribulations they go through. At a more cinematic level, what Bhadiya manages to do in Indian cinema is what John Landis' 1981 horror comedy, An American Werewolf in London, did for world cinema. The film, a critical and commercial success, brought to mainstream media the celebration of shock value, garbed in humor, as well as an allegorical representation of subdued societal issues. Bhadiya Bhadiya is an unusual film in a lot of ways. The film, while carving the path in lichen lore in India through the adventures and misadventures of Varun Dhawan's Bhaskar Sharma, also effectively and evocatively incorporate the culture and the lens through which the rest of the country is looking at Northeast, along with the prejudices, alienation, casual discrimination, and the trials and tribulations they go through. At a more cinematic level, what Bhadiya manages to do in Indian cinema is what John Landis' 1981 horror comedy, An American Werewolf in London, did for world cinema. The film, a critical and commercial success, brought to mainstream media the celebration of shock value, garbed in humor, as well as an allegorical representation of subdued societal issues. Bhadiya acting. Would I consider anyone else in the role of Bhaskar other than Varun Dhawan? Probably not. Varun has carved for himself a niche in Bollywood, where he can effectively appear heroic, even while making the audience's belly rumble with laughter. The actor's innate ability to use humor to his advantage is unparalleled in contemporary times, a feat he manages to achieve even in his latest venture. Also, to be able to completely immerse oneself in a character which gets overshadowed by a fictive creature's representation, and yet manage to still make it his own, is probably something that the contemporary crop of artists, except Varun, would struggle to achieve. Abhishek Banerjee and Palin Keben offer commendable foils to Varun's Bhaskar, and dialogues between the three are some of the highlights in the movie. Kriti Sunon as Dr. Annika, who gets pulled into the tirades of the Three Musketeers, is delightful in her uncertainty, and in a film largely dominated by male characters, offers a subtlety that markedly stands out. Needless to say, something that will leave the audience shocked. But no spoilers here. Bhadi weighs as Solal. In all honesty, where Amar Kaushik has really excelled is in his representations of the Canids in the film. The transformation of Varun Dhawan from a human to a shaggy lycanthrope makes for some delightful viewing, hitherto unseen in Indian cinema. Not one single time do their appearance in the film feel animated, and the CGI beings fit right into the narrative, propelling the plot forward towards an effective denouement. In Sion, Bhadiya is not devoid of issues. The first half, save for a very peppy number Baki Sab Thiksun by Sachin Savi, Jigar Saraya, and Amitabh Bhattacharya, feels incongruous, and the action only picks up post-interval. Where Bhadiya really falters, however, is the marked lack of an anti-hero or villain. In trying to turn the hero trope upside down, the director has failed to provide the film an evil catalyst, which could have really elevated the plotline. What works for Bhadiya is its soul. Amidst the narrative of a werewolf flick, the director has craftily etched issues of identity, representation, or misrepresentation, importance of nature, and above all the all-prevailing understanding of balance of nature to nurture progression. To say the least, this carnivorous Bhadiya is not devoid of a heart.